Here Record back with another video, and we got a lot of clips from Nick Fuentes. Um, the main one we're gonna be talking about is how he's sick of conspiracy theories revolving around Charlie Kirk. I'm sick of them too. I think it's kind of at this point, there's a bunch of conspiracy theories. People. I mean, everyone's gonna have their own opinion about it. But some things are kind of absurd, and aren't. They seem unideal, that they aren't really what they're supposed to be, But yeah, Nick is he got mad a lot. He got really mad, and yeah, he was just kind of just rambling about it. We got that. Got a couple other ones. Him talking about Candace Owens. If you guys have seen, the last couple of days he's been going off on Candace Owens. Telling her to go play with her kids. Just instead of doing what she does, go spend time with your kids. We got Nick again talking smack about Matt Walsh. Just calling him out for promoting Israel and all that. And final one is Nick talking about the Gaza plan that happened on Monday, and just giving his insight about it, because he didn't really talk about it on the last two shows he did, Monday, Tuesday. He barely talked about it yesterday. So yeah, we got that and just a couple clips. I'm gonna stop talking so you guys can look at them. All I ask is if you guys can like, subscribe, and just comment down below your guys' thoughts on the video. And yeah, I appreciate it. And here we go, and some Nick Fuentes.
If Netanyahu was the one that dropped the letter that supposedly exonerates Israel, why would your default position be believe the authenticity of the letter? I'm not legitimizing Candace's claim either, but if NY Post drops the letter and Netanyahu backs it up, that would make anybody's eyebrows raise at the very least.
Yeah, it's all fake. All the evidence is fake. Everything's fake. We already went through that. Because why? If it was a fabrication, that would easily be proved. If Candace has the letter, she would produce it. If the letter was what she says what it is, she would produce it. And somebody else has it, so if they put out this phony letter, anyone could publish the real letter. I'm getting really sick of this, like, every piece of evidence that justifies the conspiracy is believable, and every piece of evidence that doesn't is not believable, automatically. The Bill Ackman text messages, the Tyler Robinson text messages, the gun, like, there are sources that say Tyler Robinson's DNA is on the roof because he cut his hand, because it's serrated, when he dropped down from the roof. People are going to say that is fake. But the trap door is real. But energy weapons are real. Like, in other words, people are more willing to believe that there are technologies we are not aware of, that humanity is not aware of, that were used in this assassination, than believe that Tyler Robinson's blood was actually found at the scene of the crime, or his fingerprints are on the gun, or that somehow his grandfather's gun wound up 100 feet from where Charlie Kirk was shot in the neck. If your instinct automatically is to say, oh, that actually rationalizes the official narrative, it must be fake, it necessarily raises eyebrows. Why does that necessarily raise eyebrows? What would automatically be suspect about this? Everyone confirms that Charlie Kirk wrote a letter to Netanyahu. It's a real letter. Netanyahu held it up. Why would Netanyahu hold up a letter that he knows is like motherfucking him? Does that even make sense? If Netanyahu goes on TV and says, my proof that Charlie loved Israel is this letter, and he knows and everyone knows the letter was like breaking with Israel, why would he even reveal the existence of such a letter? And moreover, Charlie Kirk was pro-Israel. Why is this eyebrow raising? He was pro-Israel. And this whole thing about messaging, he said that when he was alive in public. So, if you're not willing to just go where the evidence leads, then I don't know what to tell you, man. I saw somebody say the other day, there's a Dairy Queen that got closed permanently in Utah. It wasn't even the one that Tyler Robinson went to. And some douchebag goes there and says, look, they're tearing down the Dairy Queen that Tyler Robinson was photographed in. It was the wrong Dairy Queen. And people posted, they said, that's not the right one. That's one from a different campus. It doesn't fit at all. It's just a wrong one. And he said, well, why would they tear down the wrong one? That was his reply. That's your brain on being a conspiratard. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, he was at the wrong restaurant, but in his mind, a Dairy Queen being permanently closed, he already made the assumption, oh, That's the one. They shut it down because they're covering it up. That's part of it. Even the evidence that it was the wrong one was not enough, because the first assumption is they tore this restaurant down because it's involved somehow. Just like with the private jet. It's like every activity that happened in the city has something to do with the crime. The private jet, a Dairy Queen that he didn't go to, a trap door next to where he was. Other than the actual evidence, like the Tyler Robinson's grandfather's gun. So how did the FBI get that exactly? If the FBI found this guy's grandfather's gun, and that's what it is, how did it get there? Did the FBI steal it and then put it there to frame this kid? Why? Why would they do that? Does that make more sense? And how did they get his DNA? The FBI came into his house and stole his fingerprints and put his fingerprints on his gun at the same time? And why? And he's a super intelligent kid. Okay, so if there's nothing wrong with him, then why would they make him the patsy? If he's not even known as liberal or known as gay for that matter, if he's not mentally ill or stupid, why would they pick a bright guy to be a patsy? Wouldn't a very intelligent guy be able to, like, defend himself? The conspiracy shit is really pissing me off because it just doesn't make any sense. And people are just, they're confident in their ignorance, confident, smug, brazen, and how their shit makes no sense.
That is facts. I mean, it's just facts, you know, what Nick's saying. It's like I said, at one point, Charlie was cool with Israel, you know, and he advocated for them, he promoted them, you know, he talked about them a lot, you know, and it's just kind of funny how the last 6 months that Charlie, he went on this little tear, bro, like, oh, we're not gonna, I don't mess with Israel, you know, no more. Until I see, like Nick said, until we see actual proof, you know, that that Netanyahu showing the letter, that's a fake letter or whatever, you know, I'm just gonna say it, I'm gonna believe it, you know, just like how Nick said, you know, I mean, that's all we have right now. We only have that letter, and then it's Charlie expressing his love for Israel, you know, so we got that. So here's the next one right here. It's gonna be Nick was going in on Candace Owens. So here we go, guys.
Follow. Smiley face emoji.
She does. She's a narcissist. And that I'm so over her little, like, tough guy act. She's always saying, "Don't mess with me. I'll release the video." What is that cocky presentation? Who the fuck do you think you are? First of all, you're a fucking idiot, okay? Second of all, you worked for the Jews for 10 years. Third of all, you're not that smart. So she's always doing this, like, you know, I want my timeline. Nothing, you know, you don't tell me that. Who the fuck do you think you are? I mean, seriously, you switched up 5 different times in your life. You're suing people for racism, then you're doxing conservatives, now you're leading the blacks out of the Democrat Party, now you're an anti-Semite. And the audacity, she's no different than any one of these shameless blacks you see trying to steal shit at the grocery store and they get caught. She's no different than any one of them that thinks the rules don't apply. She's another shameless groid, okay? Another shameless groid. What is that expression they have? Always outraged, never ashamed. That's Candace Owens. Always outraged, never ashamed. Always bobbing her head. No, you don't say that. Oh, I'm Candace Owens. I'm cocky. What is with that cocky attitude? So unattractive, too, as a woman. So unattractive. That's the best. She's trying to be like the spokesperson for femininity and being a trad wife or something. She's the most cocky bitch I've ever seen in my life. Who the fuck wants that? Going around wagging her finger. Oh, no, you didn't. Oh, no, you can't say that to me. Oh, just who the fuck do you think you are? You want to be a mother? Shut the fuck up and go home and play with your kids. Seriously, I have just had it up to here with the cocky women. I do, you know, and listen, we love mothers, we love women. Get out of politics. Get out of politics. And I said this about her before. Look, I'm a grown man. I'm a grown man. And I don't need a woman telling me what to do, what to think, telling me what's up, wagging her finger in my face. I don't need that in my daily life. I don't need that from some conservative woman in politics. You're not my wife. You're not my girlfriend. You're not my mom. Where do you get off talking to people like that? You cocky bitch. It's ridiculous. Where's the femininity? Like, we just got to be done with that. We're conservative. We're in favor of traditional gender roles. Let's act like it. I know a lot of people don't like to hear people talk like that, but women need to be put in their place. You want men to lead? You want men to take responsibility? You want men to have leadership and authority? Then you need to respect when a man puts you in your place. And your place is not wagging your finger, doing whatever it is you think you're doing, telling people what's up. You do that to your kids. That's about it. I don't know where the narcissism is off the charts. So cocky, so arrogant, so narcissistic, so unattractive, and not ladylike. She is not a lady at all. That woman is a thug. That woman is an ignoramus. She is obnoxious. Yeah, not a fan. She's no different than any other one of these classless clout whores that you see in Hollywood or anywhere else. You can keep her. I think she's a disgusting human being. Disgusting.
Linger sent $20. I hate to harp on Candace, but I saw her stream today to see the response to the laughter. Got nothing of value. GG. SMH.
Well, and she, she's just ridiculous. Her whole demeanor is ridiculous. She's got nothing in the tank, acting like she does. She's got no receipts. She got nothing. Making it up as she goes along. The lawsuits are going to be delish. I will not be crying over the lawsuits that are going to come down on her.
Well, that was pretty. Yeah, you guys saw that. He was going in on Candace, calling her everything in the book, But I mean, she kind of does it to herself, She does say some stupid stuff, But I mean, like I said, I sometimes I agree with Candace. The things she says, I don't all the time, but I do. But right here, Nick was, yeah, you guys saw he was going off on her. But a couple things I did agree with, First of all, him talking about her over here acting like she has a letter for Netanyahu and all that. It's like, I mean, if you have a letter for Netanyahu, I want to see it right now, today, and then show everyone, because she's been talking about she has a different letter from the one Netanyahu has put out, But until we see it, then I'm not gonna fall for her, believe her, what she's saying. Okay, next clip we got is Matt Walsh about like I said the other day, Nick was going in on him, saying how you're over here claiming you're over there back in Israel, but then you're an American, It's like, it's crazy, But got this clip. I'm gonna be quiet so you guys can enjoy it, and yeah, everyone enjoy this of Nick Fuentes.
Matt Walsh was the first person who defended you when they came after the Groivers. Weren't you saying this is a multi-front war we're fighting? Is it possible he has a different role to play in the fight?
No, because, look, Matt Walsh has been around for many years. If he wanted to hit me up, he could hit me up. It wasn't a Groiper that killed Charlie Kirk. I'm not going to give him credit for saying what's true. Ben Shapiro said the same thing. And I appreciate that he said it. It showed some integrity. But then he goes on Twitter and says, any personal feuds are all over. It's like, yeah, I didn't hear my name there. I didn't hear my name brought up in that. So unless he says my name in that context, I'm going to assume that has something to do with somebody else. I don't respond to vague, I don't have any beef with anybody. Okay, well, my name's not anybody. My name is Nick fucking Fuentes, and I've been doing this for 10 years. And when this guy's had a contract with Daily Wire for just as long, I've been banned from everything. And he wants to go and beat his chest and be a Catholic white patriot. He's also working for Ben Shapiro. And what really made me lose it is when he said that Glenn Greenwald has an Israel fetish. It's like, dude, your boss is Ben Shapiro. Where do you get off even saying that? Where's the self-awareness? No peace. No justice, no peace. Unless and until he is ready to just talk about the real issue. No, we're not going to unify. We're not going to defer the Israel issue to another day. It has to be talked about. It hasn't been settled at all, and it needs to be talked about now. That's what's happening now. Let's wait for Israel to take Gaza. Let's wait for America to destroy Iran. Oh, then we could talk about Israel after. Get out of here with that. Let's just unify and talk about this other stuff later. Oh, really? Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? The difference is we're right, you're wrong. Of course you want to move on from this. It's a one-sided beef. He doesn't have a real, I don't think he has a real beef with me. I have a beef with him. He's working for the enemy. You'd like that, wouldn't you? You Shabbos Goy race trader, you would like that, wouldn't you? You don't want me going in your replies and saying you work for Ben Shapiro every day. Because it hurts, because it's true. You don't like to hear it, because it's true, and you got nothing to say about it. So, and it's not personal. I don't hate the guy. I don't know the guy. I've never met him. I'm sure he's a nice guy. People are babies about this. I'm sure he's a good father. I'm sure he's a good husband. He seems like a nice enough guy. I'm sure I'd get along with him. But he is working for the enemy, and I have a big problem with that. I have a big, massive problem with that, and everybody should. Every American should have a problem with another white Catholic American that is working for Ben Shapiro. Sorry, no, we cannot defer that conversation. We're all going to hold hands and hang out and pretend you're not working for the enemy. I don't think so. Yeah, we could all toast to hating on Muslims or something. It's like, no, man, Muslims aren't running America. Muslims didn't just buy TikTok and all the media to take our free speech, to deprive us of our right to have representation in government and do what we want with our own military. So you don't get it. If you have a problem with what I'm saying, you are a pussy, okay?
Indiana Catholic sent $20.
Nick's like, yeah, he's all saying stuff. But I mean, it's facts though, like I said. When it comes to Matt Walsh, I mean, he works for the Daily Wire. I mean, you're working for Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro is, you guys don't know, he's pro-Israel. Huh. That's all he does is just promote Israel, back Israel up. Of course, Nick ain't gonna be cool with that. Nick is not gonna be cool with that because he doesn't mess with Israel. He's never messed with Israel, and that's the one thing I respect from Nick is that he's stuck by it. Even though I like Charlie Kirk and rest in peace, I loved his videos and watching him, but unfortunately it's like you got in bed with the money, bro. I mean, at the beginning you were cool with Israel, you were pro-Israel, but then you, like, last 6 months of your life you switch up on them, and it's like, well, you can't do that, man, because all your donors, they're donating to Pusa, his company TPUSA, and yeah, I mean, I get what Nick's saying right here. Okay, we'll do one more clip. This is the clip of if you guys haven't heard that the ADL, which is anti-Semitism, they tackle that. So anyone that talks bad about white people or anyone of white color, they work with the FBI and they just try to track them down. Any comments made like that. So I guess it was disbanded recently, and yeah, Nick gives his opinion on it. So here is this video for you guys.
Major breakthrough and development. First, the ADL received a ton of pushback and public pressure because they listed on their glossary of hate groups and individuals. This is a feature on their website where they catalog who they consider to be racists, anti-Semites, white supremacists, and other categories of extremists. They had listed on the website Turning Point USA, as well as a faction of Christian identitarians, or a so-called Christian identity movement. And a lot of people said, is this not the type of vilification of conservatives which led to the assassination of Charlie Kirk and all these attacks on Christian churches, which we've seen over the past few years especially? That was the first big push. So they took down the glossary of hate, and then almost immediately afterward, the director of the FBI, Kash Patel, announced that the FBI would no longer work in collaboration with the ADL, which is a huge deal because the ADL has collaborated with the FBI for something like 80 years. And a lot of people said this is an amazing development, and I agree. This is a truly remarkable, a notable and remarkable development. And I would say it is unambiguously positive. The ADL is a massive, oppressive force that works on behalf of Israel, that works on behalf of the transnational Jewish community. And it seems that their primary activity is the reputational destruction of anybody that criticizes Jews or Israel. And it goes further than that. They not only work to destroy the reputation of the perceived enemies of Israel and the Jewish people, but also anyone they consider to be insufficiently guilty for being white, anybody that is too proud or chauvinistic about being a Christian. They engage in reputational destruction, targeted career destruction, and censorship. Maybe most notoriously, they are responsible not only for the data that informs legislation and government action that leads to censorship, but they also actually design the censorship policies and even the software themselves. When Facebook, YouTube, formerly Twitter, when they were banning people, often they were banning people on the ADL's recommendation using ADL-designed trust and safety guidelines, and in some cases even using ADL software to flag the posts or users that the ADL wanted banned. So this is huge.
It is huge, At the end of the day, in my opinion, I think the ADL, I don't agree with them. I feel like people should have the right to say whatever they want. That's why I love X. That's why thank you, Elon, for having getting X and buying it, because that's legit. I saw a post the other day. It's like, I think it said X is like the last defense. It's like freedom of speech, and then X is the last like defense. Like after X, because TikTok, if you guys all know, TikTok was recently bought, I think a couple days ago or a week ago, by the owner of Oracle. I think his name's Larry something. Forgot his name though, but yeah, if you search up the owner of Oracle, he purchased TikTok, and he donates a lot of money to Israel, and he's a Zionist, and yeah. So X is legit the last place to, for freedom of speech to say whatever you want. Which, like I said, we should have the choice to say whatever you want. Like I said, there's people that say stuff that I don't agree with, but hey, that's their right, Like, they got freedom of speech, the First Amendment, So, yeah. Okay, those are the clips. If you guys like the video, like, subscribe, follow. I have another channel that I post. I post stories. I cover on my show. I cover stories, news stories, anything that's going on. So I'm gonna link that down below if you guys want to follow that. I would appreciate it. Yeah, I'm gonna also be making a membership for this channel. If you guys want to also follow that or join that, I'll probably be like $2-3 a month, just to help me support the channel, and keep this going, So, like I said, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Everyone have a good one, and yeah, keep watching. I'm gonna link down Nick Fuentes' show down too below. Yeah, I'm gonna link his stuff down below, Nick. So yeah, everyone have a good one. Peace out.